Ya ta 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 ya ta ta
Hey,
ta.
what is up, Headhunters and executive recruiters and hashtag the Herc? Welcome to the Headhunters and Boxers Talkin Smack show with one and only DSP and his co-host Neil Lebovits.
But hey, wait, we did a
And
song, our theme song before
oh
we do
yeah,
the
we didn't do the
intros.
theme song today because dumbass DSP doesn't keep a separate folder for boxers, and he needs to make that shit happen. But
So we have to
that's
do it.
neither
This is our theme song.
here
Herc
nor there.
Iris.
Live from the Chazastani occupation zone himself, Ben Nader.
Yeah, give it up.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Ben. Whoo, man. All right, we have our first viewer. If we're lucky, we might hit two.
Ooh.
We might even hit double digits today, potentially.
Listen, I was telling Ben, we're getting up to close to 2,000 in total, which is pretty good from our 30 or 40 on episode 1. So we're getting some traction.
Not bad. Well, I will say this. We are actually going to be releasing like a website, and we're going to put that on a podcast. We're going to do it all, man. We're eventually going to be streaming live into YouTube and all the groups, including Ben's group. So that said, for a lot of you folks who just don't know who Mr. Nader is, other than the Chaz official recruiter, or is it Chop now? Chop Chaz?
No, they're done. Chaz and Chop are history.
No,
really, they're back? I gotta watch more news.
No.
All right.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that why you're wearing your ascot? Oh man, you're it.
I was ready to come. I was going to enlist into Chaz.
You are frightening.
I'm ready.
Oh my! And that is your real weapon, isn't it? What do we got there?
That, my friends, is a Mossberg. It is my baby. Whoo, man!
You are a very frightening, scary individual, my friend.
I'm just saying, I'm ready to come hang out in the Chaz with you, Ben. And it's over? The revolution's over?
Look, you can restart it yourself, my friend.
Yeah.
Man.
You know what it looks like? When you don't have that on your face, it looks like you're wearing one of those ascots, like that were big in in the day. You look a little what's a word? I don't want to say feminine. It has that
feminine?
No, because with that you can't be more masculine. Right, I'm just saying that ascot-y thing looked like, it's not an ascot. Leave it at that. You know what I mean?
Well, I like that because when I scuba dive, I use these things for around my head, to kind of keep the sun off. And then so when this whole thing happened, man, I'm like, man, I got plenty of these things. I have these things for scuba, but man, I was hoping for the revolution. Man,
so Ben, I see you got dressed up for the show. We were talking.
Yeah, I threw a button on, and kind of did my hair, the usual. I dropped the baseball cap, right? Got a
totally, yeah. Oh, there we go.
In there, right? A little GC. I kind of slicked the hair back, and I figured I'd just get dressed up for DSP and yourself.
Yeah, David, you want to tell them who Ben is? I cut you off, but this is a good show. We got some good stuff today.
Let's talk about Ben. Yeah. So other than the Chaz occupations, I want to be the Chazastani National Guard. That's what I was looking to do. Oh, well. But that said, apart from that, Ben, tell us about yourself. I know, Ben, you are based in Seattle. You are a recruiter. In fact, you're kind of famous for helping people start their own recruiting practices from scratch, from zilch, right?
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
so,
could I just say this? I want to give you an intro. I want to give you a real intro, Ben, because
no one's ever.
Well, no, to be honest with you, only because Ben they need to hear his story. Right, and Ben's not going to say, "Oh, this is what I look at." But no one's going to be that cocky. I want to be cocky for Ben. All right, and then we'll get nasty and we get I want to be cocky for Ben. So Ben's this guy that I don't think we'll get into what you did for a living before you got into all this. But Ben decided to get into. Well, he was.
Exotic dancers.
He has beautiful nipples, by the way. I don't know. He doesn't show them a lot on his YouTube stuff, but he's gorgeous nipples. They're nice and pink. No, anyway, enough of that. David, I don't want to make you jealous because we're nipple buddies, right?
Okay. Ben, tell us your story.
So Ben looks like he's thinking, what did I sign up for? That's totally true. All right, so listen, his story, nice and simple. So Ben,
I'm very stoic.
Decided to become a recruiter, got into that for whatever reason. He'll give us some of his story there when he gets into it. And he made $100,000, made his six figures, figured out how to do it pretty quickly, pretty efficiently. I'm guessing he wasn't making a lot of money in his old job. And he's like, wow, I'm onto something here. So a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, he decides very late to the game, by the way. There's a million trainers in this industry, including myself. I've just been in it. Does do the circuit. They do the naps and the ASA conferences and all these things. Ben goes on YouTube and starts posting these videos. Anyway, long story short, fast forward to a year later, Ben's the YouTube guy, the YouTube sensation for recruiting. Now, listen, nothing personal. Yeah, he's a sensation there. He's got hundreds and hundreds of videos, thousands and thousands of views. But more importantly, it's not just the views that he gets. Once they view it, he drives them to his six-figure recruiter website. He's got a great group on Facebook. He's got these tremendous loyal followers that want to do what Ben did, learn how to make six figures. He does it differently. I won't get into all that. He could talk about it if he wants to, but he gets all these people to learn that they can go from their crap jobs to entering the world of recruiting any way they want, can even be peripherally, and make six figures. So again, these are all people getting into it. So the ABC is getting it. So Ben, I want to talk about that. I want at least our audience to know how they can sort of make a splash into their audience like you did, because you did it overnight, right? So what did I miss?
Yeah, Ben, what did we
miss? You didn't miss shit, man. You got it all on board. I left the 9 to 5. I mean, it's a typical story. I was working the 9 to 5, $50K salary. I actually was working for Microsoft here in Seattle, a division of Microsoft, and $50K salary. Total bullshit, right? Been an entrepreneur forever, so I was flipping stuff on Craigslist. I was doing FBA. I tried to get into e-com. All kinds of crap, and eventually, I almost went insane at my 9 to 5 in the cubicle farm. Anybody? I mean, and there's lots of people listening that have that vibe, and I know them because they're in my group. And I'm sure a ton of the people that are in the Herc. But anyways, long story short, yeah, I before I jumped off a cliff, I just basically said, hey, I'm gonna jump out of this 9 to 5 and I'm gonna go for recruiting, and literally chose that arbitrarily. And that's the honest truth. What happened was I knew a couple guys that were working at Aerotech. Robert Half, this, that, whatever. And I really didn't know what they did. Like, they weren't telling me their trade secrets. Like, hey, here's what we do. This is exactly how it works. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be too cocky. I'm an entrepreneur. I can put things together. I can put ABC together, right? So I wrote up some cold email templates. I kind of set things up. Got my business email, set up the website. I mean, when I make a video on YouTube, how I set up a recruiting agency in an hour, that's no bullshit. Like, that's what I did. So I was started sending out cold emails. I was cold Facebooking, Facebook pages. I was doing
cold Facebooking. There's got to be a term for that, David. There's got to be a term for that. Cold face. Anyway.
Yeah, it's called cold Facebooking.
Yeah. So dental offices, doctor's offices, dermatology, cosmetic surgery, whatever. HVAC company calls me back. First client ever, right? They need a secretary. Awesome. They were making $40,000. I said, I don't really know what I'm doing. 10% sounds good. So a 4,000 fee came my way. I said, shit, $4,000. That's pretty much what I take home in a month.
Right.
So I matched my income, right? The big bucks come in, and I'm like, well, shit, let me rinse and repeat on that. Next deal comes in. My girlfriend tells me about an ad she saw on Facebook.
Is your girlfriend the marketing manager, by the way, that I see on your website? She's the membership person?
She's the VP of enrollment.
She's lovely, by the way. You lucked out, my friend. You're way in a different league with her.
Oh, that's your real girlfriend?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's pretty hot, David. She's pretty beautiful.
That's my real girlfriend.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Canadian one.
Yeah.
So she tells me she saw an ad on Facebook for a new company, a produce delivery company that's delivering around in Seattle on Facebook. And anyways, I looked up the company. I called the HR lady, right? Words you never hear from an HR woman. I'm so glad you called. We need 10 drivers ASAP, right? The drivers are making $37,000 a year, okay? So what do? Pitch your 10%. Why the hell not? Okay? I want the business. I don't want to fight. I just want money. I want to get going. I want traction. Okay? That's my whole style. And we can get into that later, but so my whole deal was 10%. Just fuck it. Let's go. So 10%.
Don't, Ben, watch your mouth on our show. I've
Sir,
warned you beforehand, would you not? No.
So
This show has children watching it.
So we've got
calling the recruiters to watch his children.
They'll be learning real well from yourself and Neil and I. But 10% on 10 drivers, $37,000 salaries each. I walked away with the check, obviously, for $37,000. That was my second deal ever. Needless to say, I did my first 50K while at work. I left work. And then in my next 3 months, I did the next 50K, 100K in the first 6 months. Nothing to brag about. I know 100K is peanuts, basically, in the grand scheme. But needless to say, I was hooked, walked away, never to look back, and scaled. Nothing astronomical, right? My practice is still just multi six-figure, low six-figure, and whatnot. And now, obviously, I got the program and all that stuff. And
we're going to get into the program because I think they're interested in it. What's cool though, and I know people in our groups in the IRSA group, Independent Recruiters and Staffing Agencies. No, in this group, and all of these really, people are going to scoff at a 10% fee because we teach them how to do it. What I think is super cool is you're going to people that are in your world. They're not the ex CPAs that were making $150,000. They're looking to make $300,000. They're people that were making $30,000, $25,000, $40,000, $50,000 and looking for a life change that you give them. Where for them, if they make, and I'm not mocking them because you start and then you grow wherever you want.
Yeah, well, dude, right. I'll be honest with you. I started my staffing career. I wasn't doing what I was doing now, man. I was started off working for Labor Ready. I was actually placing, temps of $4.15 an hour on construction sites. So you start somewhere, right? And it is pretty cool when you get somebody who with no experience and you show them that, hey, you can create almost out of thin air a few $1,000s. 5,000, 10,000, 15.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. And then obviously the sky's the limit.
Right. And so these people, I see it, and it's focusing on, listen, let's not worry about the fee. Let's not worry about fancy negotiations. Let's not worry about all these other things. Let me show you quickly how you can get out there and double or triple the income that you're making working from home and living the dream, which sounds, as we talked about, sounds like snake oil. Right. And it does. And your YouTube stuff sounds like, give me a break. This guy's a freaking charlatan. It's true, right? All these people, and they're all loyal because it's real. He's changed lives with these people, and they're all able, and they're all now in different groups too. They're smart people. They get hooked. They're like, all right, how can I do this better? How can I raise my fees if I want to do it? How do I change my niche? And I'm going to turn it back over to you again, Ben. There's one thing that I love, David, that you'll hear Ben talk about, which is a great lesson to everyone watching this, is anytime they ask him about all these things, which you can see Ben can make a living just on focusing on the tools, right? And Ben and I talked about this in a couple of the links. Ben always tells them, what website should I use? What protocol should I use? What about my phone system? What about all these other things? And Ben's got all the answers for them, and he could just create a program to have them buy for that. Every answer is, yeah, get on the phone. Get your clients. Send out the emails. Stop it. Well, I'm going to launch in 2 months. No, you're not. Launch tomorrow. Get on the phone. And I love that, I love that for anyone. I love that for a $1 million producer. That's what they'll tell you. Stop with the crap, right?
Right.
Well, Ben, let me ask you a question here. So what would you say for somebody that is, say, in your Facebook group or that you work with, or whatever, but somebody kind of in your sphere, right? What would you say are their biggest roadblocks, in terms of actually, getting started, getting business, whatever it is, but what are like the biggest roadblocks you tend to see in the newbies?
Mindset. Almost 100% mindset.
Yeah.
So everybody comes into my group, right? You have, I think, I'm going to guesstimate that your average biller is something like 300, 350, something like that. I'm going to guess is your average biller. People that come into my group heard about recruiting 2 months ago, maybe a week ago.
On YouTube.
Well, right. They find me on YouTube or whatever, right? And they find out what I do and stuff, and I'm giving tips or whatever. Or they might have just been a recruiter, at an agency for a year, and then they come find me in my group and whatever, and they join. And that's just where they land, whatever. And the biggest obstacle that I find is mindset. So you could have an agency recruiter that was helping that company, some small shithole company, right? That's billing like, I don't know, whatever, maybe $1 million a year or something, whatever. It's like a 5-man shop or something, and a 5-man and woman shop. You know, they come and they're in the group and they're like, well, you know, I don't really know about, you know, insurance to do our temps and, you know, whatever and this and that. And I'm thinking in my head, like, you fucking worked at a temp shop for a year, dude. Did you not? Where was your head? Was it literally that far up your ass?
Do you actually say this?
No.
Ben is mean to students, like I am.
We need thought bubbles for our
like
students.
Mario
I would love that
right here.
Can we,
Mario.
It's Mario.
Supposedly, it's his ours. You know, this Mario. Could you please stop coming on our show, sir?
So,
God.
Chris Wessel.
I apologize for you.
I want to highlight Chris Wessel's comment. I really love what he said. If you
what did he say? I missed that.
He said if you charge 10% and give 10% value, that's totally fine. It doesn't erode the people charging higher fees for higher level service. That's 100,000% true. And I want to make that known to every single little bitch that complains in my group or anywhere to me or to other people or to giving me shit about it. When I'm charging someone 10, 15%, whatever, they can go do whatever they want, but it doesn't erode the profession. If you think that I'm just adding on to what Chris is saying because Chris knows he's in my group. Great guy, Chris Wessel is. Mm-hmm. But long story short, a lot of people come in, right, and they say, Ben, I'm concerned what you're doing to the industry, and I think that you might be doing a large disservice to yada 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 yada. David, how the hell do you think I would ever be in competition with your SAP practice with me and my people here, you know, an hour away in logistics or warehouse or SaaS software, whatever, you know, I mean,
what different market.
And you know, imagine if you had that power. I love that. I'll put a post on Facebook about something. You know what? You really shouldn't say that because it's really going to change the mindset of the voters. I'm like, if I had that much fucking power, like I wouldn't be here, right?
Well,
like if you could change the industry, Jesus.
A lot of recruiters have this mentality, this. I mean, they're kind of stuck in there, and I've experienced it. You know, when I was talking about Facebook ads, you don't do Facebook, or for example, you got to get on the phone and cold call, or the other one's like, no, cold calls are dead. There's a lot of nuance to everything, and I think a lot of people spout off their line because they don't put any critical thinking behind what they're saying. There's nuance to everything. 10% is good in some situations. It's not good. It's not good in others. Sometimes things there's nuance. And people, unfortunately, don't have a good understanding of nuance, and that's the problem, right? That's how I see it.
That was extremely nuanced, direct yet
that was very nuanced. A nuanced conversation about nuance.
That's correct.
But again, his audience is different. They can grow into it. If he's going to teach them how to be a recruiter, competing with David or competing with Chris or competing with me or competing with the others, they're going to fail just like 95% of all the other recruiters do who get into the business. If their goal is 250 the first year and do this and that, they're toast. If their goal is, I need you to make more money and a better life and take control of your destiny than what you're doing at Microsoft in that freaking cubicle, then I think it's brilliant, honestly. And I would never do a 10% fee. I would never train my people to do 10%. Once you get good at it, you'll learn that if they can do 10%, they'll do 20. You learn all the secrets of it. But learn it. I'm not going there. I'm teaching you how to double or triple your income overnight working from home. And right. So I would talk to everyone about your YouTube thing because I want this audience to use social media like David does, like I'm doing, just building up a new group, getting a couple thousand people in this first month. How you, both of you guys have tremendous followings and have driven people to your Facebook site, to your websites, and to your paying customers. They can do it. They're not too late to the game. Any niche. So talk to me about what you did. Tell them about what happened. Let's hear the success story.
I will interject one quick moment about my following. They're all bots. The Russian bots.
That's good.
This shit's all a ruse. Especially that Mario R. R stands for Russia. You heard it here first, folks. Now,
my Russian bot is
your real followers.
Well, let's talk about the Russian bots for a second. My Russian bot is a toy that I bought for my ex-girlfriend. So let's leave it at that.
That's a different kind of Russian bot, sir.
Oh, you're not talking about that.
Different kind of Russian bot.
Yeah, sorry. And there's nothing wrong with the toy, by the way. At first, it made me feel like it made me insecure that maybe I'm not doing enough. Like if you're with someone, why should they want to play with a bot? Food for thought. Is it too early?
It depends on the bot. If it's a jackhammer, it invites some questions. That's all I'm trying to say.
It does. I don't like when they try to turn the toy over to me. That to me is a little like what are you gonna do with it? I don't want it.
I'm all about the fleshlight, so I don't really, that's just.
What are you about with your hot girlfriend?
I'm all about.
And we just lost a sponsor, by the way.
Another one.
Yeah,
another sponsor.
You're all about the flashlight, did you say?
The fleshlight.
Oh my! Is that a
You don't know
toy
about
I
the
should know?
flashlight?
Move it. What's that?
Is that a toy I should know about?
You
The
would have listened to
flashlight?
Rogan in the early days.
Heard of that, Neil?
No, and I'm pretty much in sync with all the latest.
You gotta Google some shit, man.
I do, man. What do you think I do when I'm offline here? Just picture what I'm doing after the
incognito mode. Before you go Google that.
I'm not married anymore, but that was the best when you had to clear your browser regularly, your history. Like, I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. Like, you could go to I don't care. You can see chickswithdicks.com. I don't care anymore, Like, it doesn't bother me.
Mario says, what's Neil's opinion on sex dolls?
I think the realistic ones that they sell now that you have to spend like thousands for, that you can make, you send them a picture of like your sister-in-law or like your hot, like this, your best friend's girlfriend, like Ben's girlfriend. No, you can send a picture in and they'll make a replica that's supposed to be.
It's like being like a necrophiliac. I mean, it's your you know what I mean? Like it doesn't get me. It doesn't get me going. You know what I mean?
But they have warming fluid, David. It's not like a necrophiliac. Those are cold. Well,
I think the advanced levels talk back and stuff like that.
It's usually about this time where we run off the rails, so we're right on track. On track.
You were going with something, Neil. You were talking about something YouTube and this. And
that. I want to hear I tell them about no holds barred, right? I want to hear your story because I want them to do what you did and to start now because you entered a world that would be, in theory, forget it. I'm so late to the game. There's the Danny Cahills of the world. There's the Mike Giantas there's all these other people, and you come in here and boom, I don't give a crap, and there you are, and people are interested, and they'll use social media to find you and get value. Talk to us.
So. I just fucking did it. Here's the deal. So I really I started my agency, right? And just everything was going peachy, grabbing clients left and right, 10%, cheap as can be. Everybody was making fun of me, yada, yada, boom, boom, boom. And then I basically started to just document, sort of. That's kind of what it was. It was kind of a creative outlet, a documentation. And then it morphed into tutorial. And sort of early on, I definitely had the concept of the program that I was going to build later on. So I kind of just spouted out a lot of content consistently, right? So I was.
What do you mean? On YouTube? You started with your first video.
On YouTube.
You didn't have a studio. You didn't have a website yet. You had no material. You just went and did it?
This is it. That's it. This has always been it. I used to have a sign that said billions on it, but it was way too small. So anyway, got the Benjamin, of course.
So you went from billions to 100?
What's that?
You went from billions to 100.
Yeah, but this kind of matches.
Yeah, but it's a bigger 100.
Exactly.
There's more real estate on the 100.
You know how much $1 billion is?
Look at the math, sir.
Yeah.
If each of these were $1/4 of $1 billion, this would be $1 billion. I love that little joke. Anyway, go back to
that's great.
Yeah.
So I just fucking
Ben.
Ouch.
Gotta go with the flow, man.
Ouch.
You gotta. Did you smoke your pre-show doobie? Because that's it was in the show notes.
I didn't get that memo, man.
All right, so seriously, back to the story. It's an awesome one.
So YouTube every day, right? It just became a regimen, right? It was religious. I just did it. And literally just shooting easy videos, 8 to 10 minutes, whatever, tutorial. Just pick a topic, pick a concept, and whatever. If you were animal, you would find one of my videos and critique it. But bottom line is, I just shot videos. So my following, I think it's up to like 7,300 or something right now, and just kind of running with that. And then the group came along sort of halfway through, I think, the YouTube channel era, and then the group was coming from there. So basically, everyone, top of funnel is YouTube. Everyone comes from YouTube. They go to my group, and then they join the group, and they kind of fuck around and do whatever. And they ask all their silly questions about Wix or Weebly or Squarespace, or and then we answer those and we talk about that. And I'm very patient. I'm a very patient person. So a lot of people say, how the hell can you deal with that type of question? And I just say, well, hey, listen, I understand somebody's beginning. I was there, and I'll answer this question. And by the way, they're probably going to sign up for the program. So, whatever.
Mhm.
So the thing is, I'm totally okay with answering questions like, hey, do I, I've got 15 candidates. I just don't have a client yet. And, I'll just, politely say, well, go freaking find a client. You need a client, and stuff like that, and just kind of work with them. But
stay close to the money. Stay close to the money, right?
That's what I say in my YouTube videos all the time. Stay closest to the money. Whatever's paying you, do that. So,
Well, the one thing I'll say that as a coach as well, one thing I've realized, when I started, I knew my shit, but it's one thing. Coaching, it's a big learning process for the coach as well. And I'm kind of curious because you and I were talking about this. As you got into the coaching side, how did your approach kind of change over time? Because I know that for a lot of coaches, they don't really know what to really expect until you get into it, and then it turned out to be a completely different animal, right? I'm curious what your perspective on that was.
Gear it towards the YouTube and stuff where the audience could also benefit, because it's I saw Total Evolution. Okay. I stalked all your stuff after.
Did you see it? Did you?
Well, after we connected and stuff, I told you I want to do my homework before we became buds, right? And
our new guest just showed up, Shea LaBouffe.
No, that's Mario R.
So check it out.
I love that video of his, by the way. Just do it video. It's so great. All right. Shea, go back where you came from. LaBouffe.
The big evolution, right, in coaching, right, comes from eating that feedback, right? That feedback loop that comes from what you're putting out to the people you're coaching, teaching, quote unquote, right? Giving them, all of your info, things that you've done, right? And what happens is you get all of this feedback in real time from people who are like, oh, well, that's not working for me, or, oh, this is great for me, and this is, this is half-assed for me, or whatever. Or, oh, have you ever thought about doing this and this and this? And oh, well, shit, I actually haven't, And then things get added to your arsenal, things get wiped off of your arsenal, and then things get refined, and you learn like shit, 60% of your shit from your students. So, while you're a subject matter expert, right? You've done the things you've done and you've implemented them. You then coach that stuff, teach that stuff, but then you learn from, people that tell you whatever they say on YouTube or whatever they say in your group, stuff like that. And in the program, of course, people tell me, hey, more on this, less on that, more on this, less on that. And you kind of learn from there. So,
are you saying what every teacher that I've ever known who retired says? At retirement, they're all like, I just want to say, I have learned more from you than you have from me.
And it sounds so cheesy, but it is true. I will say this, because obviously when you teach something, it makes you better at it. They say those who can't do teach. And actually, there's a certain ring of truth to that, because a lot of people can't end up teaching. But
is it that, or those who don't want to do teach?
Well, but there's nuance. There's nuance, right? It's not all one or the other. There's a lot of people who do that. There's a lot of people who can do and teach it. And I remember the story from Russell Brunson. He mentioned this, and it really rings true to me. He was a world-class wrestler in college, world class. And one summer for extra money, he went to go teach at a wrestling camp. And as he's teaching at the camp, the moves that he could do, he didn't know how to really break them down and teach it. And over the course of the summer, as he learned how to break his moves down and explain it to these kids, it took his wrestling game to a completely different level, by virtue of the fact of teaching it.
Wait, but dude, is he the guy who made a fortune in his business on ClickFunnels and monetized it to become a whole guy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just read about him yesterday, dude.
Yeah,
I read his whole story.
But I will say, for any recruiters, that if you want to take your game to the next level, I mean, don't compete with me and Bang. We got you. But I would say, when you find a person to mentor and help teach it, it will improve your own game significantly. It's not just giving back to them, but it also is giving back to you if you can find someone to teach.
Right, but
100% agreed. 100% agreed.
But there's a lesson I want Ben to share with everyone too, is this isn't just about trainers, because we could talk about that all we want. It's for the audience out there. They're the experts in recruiting. They're the experts with their clients that they're trying to reach. You don't have to make cold calls. You don't have to just make MVC calls. You can reach them an entirely different way. Ben, how many cold calls are you making? How many people are you pitching? Right, 0, right? How many emails are you sending out to a massive list of people that don't you're trying to get them to hopefully open up and have a 2% click rate? Zero. No, I mean, I'm talking about the cold, just trying to generate business the old-fashioned way. They're coming to you at this point, right?
Business, actually, Ben. Let's walk through this. Through your lead generation process. That's because that's one thing that all recruiters want to learn more about is lead gen, right? So let's talk about that.
Big topic. So I'll just say off the top, right? I have Zoom info. Okay, a lot of people don't have Zoom info.
I use Seamless, but they're all good, right?
Right. What's that?
I use Seamless, cheaper, but Zoom info is the best.
Okay, yeah, Seamless.
I've got
Zoom
both,
info.
but I'm not bragging. But whatever.
What? Right. Both? That's redundantly ridiculous.
So here's the deal.
It's repetitively redundant.
Bottom line, cold emails like my best strategy. It's really strong for me.
Not for you, for the people you train, you mean, or for you?
For me specifically.
Okay.
And so for me, it's how I started. It's still how I run my practice. And so killing it with cold email.
Wait, Ben, I'm sorry to cut off. I just want to clarify. You're talking about for you, for your recruiting business, or you for what you've built with YouTube and how you monetize your training? Which one? You're talking about how you get your training, your recruiting business going, or your training business?
How I got my recruiting business going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
The training business just runs on itself.
Right. Okay. But so the training for YouTube, they need to see what you're doing and do it. Now for their business. All right, go back to you. Sorry.
So here's the deal. Zoom info is like a $10,000 product, right? So a brand new recruiter is not going to buy Zoom info, right? But I've got Zoom info. So long story short, okay.
I've got some cash. I've got some money now. Look at you. Look at you, Mr. 50 grand now.
Seven figures.
Fuck everybody here with all that.
Yeah, damn you.
We're going to get that in post, sir. This is a family show. It's a family show.
Long story short, I'm loving sending out cold emails to generate new business. Loving it. Sending out to manufacturing, logistics, transportation. I mean, you fucking name it. Just any of these kind of general labor spaces, right? And all that. And trying to get anywhere from C-suite to director, VP, whoever, and literally just shotgunning this shit, right? Because when you got Zoom info or you got Seamless or whatever, you don't give a flying, whatever. You just drop it, right? So I get tons of responses, right? Because I send tons of emails. And my practice is generally trying to do 100 a day. So I really go hard on it. And
are these about personalized emails?
No. These are just.
You don't even have the hi, comma, first name bit? No. Really? I love that they say that makes it. Every email is, warning you, I'm not personalized. Does hi DSP do anything more than hi? When I get a personalized
when it says hi DSP.
I do too, but does that make you buy more really when you're looking at HTML email that's obviously with an unsubscribe that's obviously broadcast out? Do you think, am I really buying more because it says hi, comma, Neil? Really?
I think you're looking at like a 5% possible increase of value there.
Well, then why not do it if it's just a hi, comma, insert field name here?
Well, because I'm not utilizing the export function on Zoom info and many other reasons that are detailed and technical and I don't want to get into, but yada yada. I'm sending out a shitload of emails on Zoom info. So that's my bread and butter. That's how I built my whole business, right? And that's how I still am generating leads and clients, right? Well, obviously now is a hard, difficult time, and it's odd, and it's weird. And I'm just now getting back with my clients as of like 2.5 weeks ago. Got 10 roles I'm filling right now, everybody. 10 freaking roles. Really excited.
Now, I do have to ask on those 10 roles. Are any of those in the Chazastani district?
Are you looking, David? Don't leave the show, bud. Do not leave us.
I'm telling you, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Chazastani. Yeah. We got to come up with an accent.
Anyway, sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I didn't catch the last episode, so I have no fucking clue what that inside joke
No, Ben, that's not an inside joke from any other show. It started today. So join my fucking world, Ben. I got to come on here, pretend I find this guy funny, and pretend we have some sort of chemistry. When behind the scenes, we're going to be one of the... Behind the scenes, we have a very difficult, edgy relationship. We don't even acknowledge each other off camera.
Oh, like us.
It's very uncomfortable.
Right. People don't know that. They think we all get along. And behind, it's going to be one of those videos they have like on YouTube, behind the scenes. Did you know that DSP and Neil really never talk to each other? Like it's going to be imagine a world, if you will. Right? It's like in a world.
in that.
And I will say this. Before we get back on topic, we have some folks here like Jeff. Gina says, hey, you're getting off topic. Don't want to talk about sex stories. Guys, this is the show. I'm just saying, this is not a boring show. So it is what it is. But anyway, that's it.
I would argue, David, that the off topic is a training.
I want to come back. Neil,
I know.
Sir, Neil Lebovits, lead generation. So email, get the responses in. What's the next step?
So, really, really simple, right? I think a lot of people make behind
the boxers.
That's great.
Wait, what?
All right,
that's a double entendre.
So cold email, right, is so simple. And if you're not utilizing cold email, and if you're a beginner, okay, I highly recommend that you harness cold email. Shoot out a shitload of cold emails. All right. Here's what's going to happen. You're just going to do volume on volume on volume. And eventually you're going to get somebody that says, well, hey, Ben, we actually do have a need for 3 XYZ roles. Okay, perfect. When's a great time we can hop on the phone, Deborah? And bada bing, bada boom, at the end of the day, you have a phone call on Wednesday, 10 a.m. with Deborah. You discuss terms. Terms are 10 to 15%, depending on the role, whatever the fuck you want to charge, blah, blah, blah. I'm sending over the agreement today. Are you the only signing authority, or is anybody else involved? Blah, blah, blah. Deal is done. You go recruit, Indeed, Craigslist, whatever, LinkedIn. I don't care if you need to headhunt. You get your deals done, and you get some cash flow.
And you call her Deborah. You call her by her first name. Now you start using the first name.
I'm using the first name basis.
Or do you say, hi, first name, this is Ben. Thanks for your ticket. You say, that's weird when they don't like that.
So the advice is basically, if they're named Barbara or Deborah, they have purchasing power. If they're named Michaela, probably not.
No.
Okay.
Right. That's right.
Ben, what about the people that say you're ruining your brand? You're throwing crap against the wall, and what kind of a strategy is that? And you're degrading again. You're making the industry look like crap because that's what everyone does. What do you say to that?
Fuck them.
Well, no, all right.
Well, but I mean, nuanced answer.
What else is there to say? What do you want me to say? I think a lot of people, like I discussed earlier, kind of on a tirade. There's some people that will come into my group, and they're probably watching this right now and stuff. And that little dick,
Oh, you've lost some business totally today, without question.
Well, whatever.
But also gained some too. I mean, look, it's about being polarizing, right? You draw your people in.
I think I've gained plenty of hopefully good following. But long story short, I think the people that think those things, or degrading the industry or watering it down or whatever the fuck, right? I think they're thinking from scarcity. I think they're thinking very small. As Grant Cardone says, you're not thinking big enough, et cetera, things like that. And so I say, what do you want me to say? Like, when a recruiter starts up, okay, and they charge 10% for, a warehouse position, all right? I think 3 things happen. 1, you get paid. You get some money, all right? If you've never had some money before, you got $5,000 in your pocket, okay? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, is that Neil? Is that you?
That's not me. So
is that the getting paid chime?
Yeah,
no.
That's a good chime for getting paid.
No, where did that come from? No, for real.
Maybe let's try it again. 1, you get paid. So you get paid.
Okay,
didn't happen again. All right.
That wasn't me at all. No way.
2, you learn the life cycle of a deal from end to end. So look at it this way. If you could almost pay a company, $20, all right? Mm-hmm. Everybody know Dan Henry? Dan Henry's got this strategy, right? For his
is that Daniel Henry? Daniel Henry, the trainer?
Dan Henry's he's local to me, by the way.
Yeah,
no, I don't know him.
Here in Tampa.
He's got this concept called the what is it? The curious
student.
The curious student method, right?
Yeah.
So what's the curious student method, right? Let's talk about it real quick. You walk into a business and you approach them and you say, hey, I'm just learning how to run Facebook ads. And basically, I wanted to run your Facebook ads. All I need you to do is do the ad spend budget. And I'm gonna manage and take care of your Facebook ads. And I'm going to optimize everything. And it's going to be really awesome, right? So you get the opportunity to take 1 month, right, 30 days, run their Facebook ads, and hopefully generate them some fucking clients, okay? So if you had the opportunity, what's that? If you had the opportunity, everybody, to go and just grab a client and do that from end to end, think about it. It's priceless. It's priceless. If someone handed you a client and said, you get to learn how to do the whole thing life cycle from start to finish, right? It's priceless. So the second thing is you learn the whole damn thing, right? The third thing is entirely psychological.
Yes, confidence. That's the big one.
It's
That's
a confidence.
big one. Confidence.
When you finish it and you go cash that check, guess what? Rinse and repeat 100,000 times, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, so Ben,
I will say this before you go on to the next question. I will say this about the confidence thing. I remember for me it's one thing to bill when you work for somebody else, but I remember when I first went independent back in 02 or 03, whatever. And a lot of you folks, again, know my story. I'm not going to tell here, but when I got my first placement, I got that check in the mail, and a lot of people know kind of all the hell I went through just to even get that check cashed. But that was one of the biggest inflection points in my life, was just getting that check in my hand back when I used to pay things by check back then. Got that check in my hand, and I realized,
you got to paste it up on your wall, right?
That.
You can't do that anymore virtually. What do you paste on the wall?
Yeah.
Like a screenshot? Sucks. Ben, there was a question that I think was a good one. They wanted to know, is that your overall philosophy you think that applies to recruiting, being a numbers game? Is that your philosophy? And they said, or is that more of for new recruiters? So do you believe that it's all a numbers game, Ben? And does it apply to everyone?
I think their question is whack, and I don't understand any of it.
Really?
Yeah. Rephrase your question.
Well, is it a numbers game? You're making it sound like it's a numbers game. Is your philosophy that it's all a numbers game? And does it apply to everyone or just the new recruiters that you work with?
It's always a numbers game. It's always a numbers game, no matter what.
Well, let me add this. I agree, but it's two things. It's a number. If you look at a scale, I would say there's a numbers on the one side, and that's the easiest one to change. Double your numbers, you get double your results. Quadruple your numbers, you get quadruple your results. No direct correlation. So it is numbers.
No question.
However, on the other side, there is that quality angle, and that becomes exponential. It's a lot harder, but you can increase the quality of the call that you make or the numbers that go out, and that little one fold change in quality can mean a 5 times result. Meaning you can make yeah.
Well, I will say, in Ben's defense, I do what you're saying, Ben, because it's always both. There's nuance. People always say, well, don't work hard, work smart. How about you do both?
That's right. That's right.
And increase your numbers and increase the quality. So I said there is for sure I think people tend to be on one side or the other when you really do both, and that's when you get really exponential increases. Really.
Well, wouldn't you be Ben's side if I'm training new people with your MO? We'll focus on the quality stuff. Join the group. We're going to constantly talk about that stuff, right? However, get on the phone, crank out your calls, and then refine it from there. So let's not spend weeks or months on boot camps of trainings of all these nuances. Get on the phone and send out 100 a day. And then if you only want to make 50 and be smarter about it, start doing it. You want to make 10 that are super targeted based on leads where they're interviewing and they're hiring, and you know that email, 1 out of 10 is going to give you 3 positions. Do it. Right. But so I get it. All right. So that said.
Well, actually, we have a question here before. I got one question, from Neil here. What's the content of your first email? How many new vacancies would you get from weekly 500 messages? So let's go straight on the first part. What, in terms of sending out those cold emails, typically what would you say to at least get their initial interest?
Yeah. So a typical cold email is structured like this, right? Essentially talking more about your prospect than you, right? Okay. Introducing yourself and who you are and what you do, obviously, is the first portion of it. And then going straight into what your offering is, right? And then from there, that's very minimal, okay? It has to be minimal. You have to minimize that. If you're going to put a percentage in there, and if you're going to drop 10% or whatever, if you're not, that's your choice. That's poetic license. At the end of that, afterwards, you want to talk pain point, okay? We know that other agencies are charging, XYZ, and we charge this, competing on price. We know that your time is much better spent, doing, hit a pain point, right? Hit something that is going to hit, their pain point, right?
And money does talk. I'm not a fan of 10% fees, but I get what you're doing. But money talks, so it is a pain point.
So money talks. It is a pain point. So you're looking at it. They're opening up their calculator and they're saying, well, that's going to charge me $2,000 less. I might email him back. So bada bing, bada boom, right? And then real short, right? Because obviously,
Just an Italian thing to say.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Big bada boom.
90% of people don't want to fucking scroll on an email, right? So you want to make your emails tight, okay? So real short, real snippy and short, and you want to give them at least some information of value as to how you can actually create something for them that's gonna, give them some good value, right? So bottom line, at the end of the day, you throw that offer out there. Always, always, always call to action at the end, and then signature if you want to know the content of the email. Somebody asked 500 emails out. What's the response? How many vacancies?
That's a tough question to answer.
I don't know.
On the first part.
I'm not even going to answer that question.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
Now listen, I'm going to answer these.
Ding, ding, ding,
Somebody asked me if I could wear glasses. I'm going to do the Chazastani National Guard.
ding, 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 ding.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I didn't do it.
That's what I'm waiting for. What is going on today? It's
Here we go.
crazy. All right, it's time for some news. Let's break out a couple of articles that I think are interesting. So this one, not much to do with recruiting, but it's in there because it's a big hiring company. Uber is to acquire the fellow human cloud Postmates. $2.65 billion Postmates. Postmates is that company that's like Uber Eats. Postmates is a DoorDash kind of thing. So I guess my thing is, what the $2.65 billion? Why does Uber need that? For one, with their tired users, can't they leverage off it? Postmates does like DoorDash. They deliver food and all sorts of things, just like Uber Eats does. But why?
Well, I guess if they have a customer base already in that part, is it a regional thing? I never heard of Postmates.
No, but $2.65 billion. That's what I'm saying. So they can't be tiny. These Postmates people just cashed in big time. They're going to retire for their great grandkids, right?
Or to get rid of a competitor. I mean, look, if you're a monopoly or near a monopoly in some areas, you can start tracking those prices up. I think a lot of times when you have a competitor like that, and again, I don't know the economics of that market, but if they're looking to gain territory where they're not in before, just get rid of a competitor, things start jacking up prices.
But you're Uber, for goodness sakes. Like, don't they have enough to leverage? Like, how could Uber Eats not work good enough to compete with Grubhub, which acquired that other one that I never heard of for billions, and now Postmates? How can they not be destroying them? That's not a rhetorical question. I don't know. Dead silence on the show is good.
I figure it's most likely because they're probably trying to get rid of a competitor because they don't start jacking those prices up. That's why I imagine. Okay. I can imagine that market, the margins have to be so thin. And I know Uber has just not been profitable. You want to? By the way, one interesting note about Uber, real quick. My old company, my old search firm used to be called Uber Inc. I swear to God, you can look it up. Yeah. I actually had the opportunity to buy Uber.com back in, I want to say 2005 or 2006 for about $10,000 roughly, and I passed on it.
My uncle Stephen McDonald asked if I wanted to go in on a little hamburger chain 40 years ago, and I told him it's crazy. All right, that's now two dead air comments. That's 2 seconds of dead air. I'm going to move on to another question because that's never happened on the show, and I'm causing this, so I'm mortified right now. All right, Freelancer.com reports jump in jobs. So this is so different from a lot of the others, but jump in jobs lists the fastest growing and declining jobs for 2002. So, wow. So what do we think? Could people sort of guess what the sort of top growth areas are in terms of jobs on Freelancer?
The top non-growth areas, strip clubs. Pretty bad business at this point.
The anal wart cream business.
That has all gone private.
No, the fleshlights is a goal. That's the number one, fleshlights. So now I did read about it.
Right.
All right. So, and out of the top 10, who wants to name someone? Go ahead. Top 10. Let's see if anyone could guess one out of the top 10.
Face mask makers.
IT.
Okay, IT got to be more specific. So definitely IT is up there in several of them. Okay.
Computer vision.
Oh, okay. So computer vision, game design, and game development are two of them. So I'm going to give you that. Good one. And what others? I mean. Any others that come to
restaurant
mind?
delivery drivers.
Uber, Postmates. Oh my God, who knew? No.
Gun manufacturers. That's everybody's buying guns right now.
You would think no. So it's a lot of API, XML, lots in project management, engineering, a big one. Well, again, as an aside too, if you're doing those or you're looking for new niches, totally get into it and get into the temp game. Again, not the commercial that David always abuses me about because I provide the back office so you can employ them. But in all seriousness, you need to be doing it. It's amazing that IT is still, even though it's down now, let's call it 20%, 10% now, numbers are getting much better. It's still a gold mine in these areas. So if you're looking for a new niche, these IT areas in engineering and mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil are all in the top 10, right? That's pretty amazing. Legal research, statistics. So I just thought it was interesting. Animation is secure. Yeah.
Well, Ken here says self-employment, and I 100% agree with that. I think right now the walls barring those who or to keep people out from being self-employed, they've all come down. I mean, look, when I started, we didn't have this little thing called LinkedIn. You know, I started with nothing. I spent 6 months with 9 offer turndowns before I got my first check, and people will tell me, I'm not ready to start a business. You don't need anything to start. You just like as Ben says, you just go, you just do it, you figure it out, right? And so as Ken said, self-employment, I think I personally would agree that's probably one of the biggest growth areas here are those recruiters who maybe they got laid off. Well, why don't you go take that skill set and go create something, right?
You know what? Yeah, being a recruiter for a company, if you're good, is one of the biggest scams going. Like, it's crazy that people are that insecure that they're willing to give away 50% or more of their hard work. Now, I'm not saying there aren't places where you get back much more than you give, right? There are people that can go to a company that has amazing clients, that give them business, that give them placements, that give them the splits, give them the network, give them the candidates. All right, maybe that's indeed worth it because you would never do it on your own. If you have the ability to recruit and or market and use these tools that a lot of these big companies won't even do because it's too much of a 3-year project for them to initiate Octopus or whatever they want to do. Like, why on earth are they giving this money up to people? I think it's insane. Now's a great time, David, is my point. That's a very long-winded, I agree.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
These corporate recruiters want to do it. And I think from my observation in the group and from people that I talk to, right, the reason these corporate recruiters or some agency recruiters and things like that, well, agency recruiters, definitely it's a confidence thing. That's 100%. Just because you're an agency recruiter. So you have no brand name behind you, right? Robert Half or whatever, that's not shit, right? That's nothing. If you work at Robert Half, Aerotech, Adecco, or whatever, that's just, you're just there because you want a safe W-2. If you work as a corporate recruiter for, I don't know, let's say Nordstrom or REI or, just pick any big brand name, some fancy schmancy, right? And you're working corporate.
Then that was a Jewish term. There's an Italian and Jewish references in this. But Ben, you're a Jew boy, right? Benjamin Nader?
No, I'm not. I'm Lebanese.
Really? Oh my God. You're an enemy of mine.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Ben Nader, I would think you're a nice Jewish boy.
Yes. Yeah. You're Jewish, correct?
Lebovits? No, I'm Hindi.
Oh yeah, you're Hindi, right? Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
No, I'm a Jew boy. Yeah, I'm a Jew boy.
No, sir, we're Americans.
I'm an American.
Yeah.
So unless they get into the Chazastani National Guard, Ben, you put in a good word for me because I'm ready to go.
You
tell the Chaz people.
But
I'll be there tomorrow.
Long story short, these corporate recruiters, though, right? They've got, number one, they've got that confidence issue the agency recruiters have, right?
Yeah.
They're not going solo, right? And number two, believe it or not, some of these people, they're really sticking and clinging to that brand name like it's going out of style. They really think that brand name behind them is going to ride them into the sunset for some reason, right? That I don't know, 85K, 100K, 110, whatever it is, with a little bonus on however many recs you fill, whatever. And they really think that Amazon here in Seattle, okay, Amazon, a big one, right? A lot of recruiters at Amazon. Well, I'm a recruiter at Amazon, and I'm a technical recruiter at Amazon, and yada yada, and blah blah blah. And
get laid off,
right? Yeah, right. Or I'm a recruiter at Microsoft, and I recruit at Microsoft, and that's my thing, right? Fuck your brands, okay? Your brands suck. Your companies suck. Your companies suck to work for. Amazon, terrible place to work for. Microsoft, horrible place to work for. Bottom line, so when those people are recruiters there, confidence issues, stuck to the brand, they think they're the shit, go off and frickin' use your skills, be self-employed, do your damn thing on your own.
All right, so with that said, coming to
the show.
Coming to a close, yeah. I was just going to say, I want
to work out who's going to close who.
No, you're going to close. I'm the color guy. We've established that. We've established that I become the color guy, and you open it, and you close it, and you take us back on course. I think we've established our ebb and flow, and I like.
Yeah, I thought I was the color guy.
I know Ben intimately.
I'm the color guy?
Now, as I've been working close. I'm the color guy. Today you're acting with a lot of color.
Ben?
What am I?
You're some guest we got on. I don't know.
Ben and I we've touched nipples.
I'm just kidding, Ben. I love you.
And David, you and I haven't. We're going to get to that. Once this Corona thing is over and we could broadcast together, I come down to Tampa, we'll do a live nipple touch. I think that's what to look forward to.
Yes, I'm making eye contact the entire time.
What's that, Ben? Tampa soon, in the probably fall, David. And
let's work it up, man. Let's go hit it up.
All right, I just want people to go to Ben's website. I want people to check out Ben's YouTube. Six-figure recruiters, or it doesn't matter. You'll find it.
YouTube, you can just find me at Ben Nader.
Ben, right? You'll find it either way. Check out his stuff because I want you all to do it. I want you to just start doing stuff. I want you to figure out what your audience wants to hear. What your hiring managers, if you want these great candidates to always come in, they're all looking online to see what's going on. I want you to do that. Final words, David. I turn it over to you to close the show.
Well, everybody, I really appreciate all your time. Thank you to all of our tens of viewers and the sponsors we just lost. Ben Nader, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. It is fantastic. Neil, it's been a time. And unfortunately, we'll be doing it again same time next week. Actually, next week, we may actually be able to simulcast to YouTube and different Facebook groups and pages simultaneously. So if we do that, our reach will improve by an additional 1 or 2 viewers. So I'm really excited about that, guys. With that said, I appreciate it. Love you all, and peace.
Peace out, everyone.
See you guys.
Hey, thank you for watching Headhunters and Boxers Talking Smack. Who doesn't love Headhunters and Boxers? Who doesn't love talking smack? Join the show every Friday, 12 noon Eastern, live in the Headhunter and Executive Recruiter community. And make sure you click one of these boxes here and watch some of these videos or something. I don't know what's going on here. I just work here.